JCPenney making a rather bold move today. Let's bring in our Courtney Reagan. We also got SW Retail Advisor Stacy Widlitz with us here. But Courtney, first, what is this sort of make or maybe break moment for JCPenney?
That's right. I do actually think that this is a pretty critical part of the transformation, Brian. JCPenney is soft launching some of its new home shops in, quote, several hundred stores, I'm told today and early next week. The big reveal will be in early May. New designer shops include Jonathan Adler, Michael Graves, Bodum, and Conran. Now, home may be where the heart is, but for JCPenney, it better be where sales are, too. Home goods has been JCPenney's worst performing category for 7 years, accounting for only 12% of the retailer's sales in the fiscal year 2012, much lower than 21% back in 2006. Now, Wall Street is waiting to see if the new home shops will be the key for JCPenney to get its house in order.
Okay, so you got the news. Stacy, do you believe, I mean, are we seeing a change here? There's been a lot of heat on this company. We've brought a lot of the heat on the company. Do you believe that there is going to be meaningful changes here at JCPenney?
Well, here's the problem. They're rolling out the home business. It used to be 20% of the business, and as you said, now it's about 12%. So there's some opportunity, but the problem is, if you think about the brands like Michael Graves, like Jonathan Adler, this is a younger, hipper customer. That's not their customer. So they're going to have to work very hard to get that customer in the store and almost, go after the target core consumer.
This is what troubles me a bit, is that we keep talking about this and Joe Fresh, all these things, when we've identified the problem at JCPenney is largely being the alienation of their core customer. I understand they're trying to get younger and hipper, but if the hip and young aren't coming in and your old customers ditching out, who's left?
Right, that's what they did. So they drove out the coupon lady, and, they said, we're going to get that newer customer in, and they're opening up all these shop-in-shops. They'll have about 30% of the square footage transformed by the end of this year. But that customer doesn't know it's there. So they're just not naturally going into JCPenney.
I do think that the products look better. This is an example, actually. Just got this in the mail from JCPenney.
You putting my photo in there?
I'm going to put your photo in here.
I'll give you
so that we can see it. What camera should I look at here? So this is a Jonathan Adler frame, just so you guys know. One of the products that's going to be in the new shops retails for $12. The price tag is on the back. So this is pretty cool. It's fresh, it's hip, it's got that geometric.
That is going to save JCPenney, Courtney.
I don't know if it's going to save it, but I think it is.
You know what might go in there if they're not careful? A JCPenney stock certificate.
Oh boy, like a
history piece. Sorry, I get a little worked up on a frame. But you get my point, though, right? I mean, JCPenney, I admire what they're trying to do, but even Bill Ackman, right, the biggest investor in JCPenney, who's made a huge billion-dollar bet into JCP, said today that there's been mistakes.
Right. He came
that they've abandoned their core customer.
Right. He came out today and, did a 180. He's famous for being on CNBC and saying sales have bottomed and supporting Ron Johnson through all of this. He came out and said, you know what, he should have tested the concept, criticized him, but he has to. His investors must be furious with this, with defending and defending. After a period of time, you just can't anymore.
So we got one flipper. The other flipper today, potentially, Alan Questrom, because he spoke to Scott Wapner, former CEO of JCPenney, who's been very critical.
Jan Rogers-Niffen, frequent guest on our show, says the smartest guy ever in retail.
Yes, I mean, he's done turnarounds. He's famous for a lot of things in retail, and he's been very critical of Ron Johnson. Actually referred to him as delusional at one point on our air. However, Johnson took him through a tour, and he talked to Scott Wapner about it, and he said, you know what, there's a lot of things there that I like, that I saw in the prototype. Ultimately, it will be up to the customer, but it seemed as if, even in a measured way, he might have been changing his tune. So, I don't know, maybe people are changing sides here.
I could have the best-looking store in the world, but if I don't know how to get people into it, it won't matter squat.
And that's what matters. If your traffic is down 17%, you could put gold in that store.
1 in 6 customers has gone away.
Right.
And you know what else I think is interesting is so often companies look at marketing dollars as like, I don't know, does this really work? You got to put money in marketing.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to aggressively market to people like Stacy and I that aren't your typical JCPenney shopper, because I actually do like this stuff. But I know it's there because I follow JCPenney every minute of every day.
You really do.
And I think, yeah, you're the expert. And I think also the thing we didn't talk about is Martha Stewart. I mean, she's the headline brand in the home business. So, are they going to win the court case? Are they going to have to buy out Macy's?
Well, we'll talk about it. I did talk to her 2 weeks ago in Vegas. She said she still had faith in Ron Johnson, but we'll get you back on. I know. What else is she going to say, right? Thank you both very much. Street Signs Road Trip to a JCPenney near you soon.